I'm going to do a recording now first. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. This is Amy Kang from Coffee with Amy Kang Facebook Live. So today I'm very happy to have my guest speaker, Lilian Ong she's a founder of the Women of Courage Asia. And I'm very happy to have her here with us to share about the purpose keep me alive. So very thank you for your time of coming here. So yeah, and pardon me for my anxiousness again. Yeah, just a little bit jiffy because I have this very great lady out here who's going to share with us. You know, she's a very wonderful woman, and I'm going to just talk to you all more about Lilian. Okay, so Lilian is actually a Woman of Courage Asia founder. She has been she's a courage coach and a breakthrough catalyst and an author and transformational speakers, founder of Class Living, her Courage Business Network, Women of Courage Asia, and Connecting Mothers Support Group. She's also the Association of Business Women in Commerce and Industry, in short, ABWCI, Country President of Singapore. As a courage coach and breakthrough catalyst, Lilian helped women to awaken their courage and ignite their powers of influence and leadership. As a result of working with Lilian through her courage coaching and mentoring, the women she coached are stepping out of their comfort zone, same as me. I'm one of the one who's being coached by her, breaking fear barriers and creating the change they want to see in their life, leading and empowering others in their spheres of influence. Lilian has spoken on many platforms, touched and impacted thousands of lives through her own stories of courage, locally and overseas. She also volunteers in humanitarian and social work projects around the region, including our local female juvenile institutions and the women's prison. Lilian, together with her team, is on a mission to create and provide highly tailored transformational programs to develop courageous women leaders so that every woman is equipped with tools to succeed in their personal life as well as their businesses. So her credential is really a lot. So later on, I'd like her to introduce that she's a member of Maxwell Leadership Certified Team and accredited neuro-linguistic programming and timeline therapy practitioners, accredited Enneagram Coach, International Coach Federation, ICF Certified Coach, and author of Women of Courage, Breaking the Fear Barrier and Voices of Courage books. So you can see that Lilian is really a very wonderful and powerful woman of the period 9, you know. So I mean, the thing I described about Lilian, I think she also feel like, oh, you know, can see, but yeah, this is what Lilian is doing. So isn't it great to be listening to Lilian today? So you're in for a good time. Yeah. Yeah, Lilian. So how do you feel?
Thank you so much, Amy, for that very the introduction. Yeah. Basically, hi, my name is Lilian and I'm your friend. Yeah, we just want to have a conversation, and I'm here to really proud to support Amy, and really proud of her. Come, let's have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, cheers to all women of the period 9. I mean, period 9 is the technical term for metaphysics, whereby that's the period whereby from 2024 to 2043 where women are empowered. Just like last time, the 武则天 they all. So now it's the same period coming in already, period 9. Yeah.
Okay, I think whatever seasons you are in your life, I think it is an exciting time, right? So yes, Amy, what how can I support you? What are the questions that you want to ask? And let's have a conversation.
Sure. So first thing first, I'd like you to share how you get to know me. Maybe you'd like to share a little bit more about me from
Yes. I think you first reach out to me online, right? You book a discovery call with me. And I remember, yeah, at that time you were at the crossroad of your life. You were, going through a lot and you have you're pretty overwhelmed, and there's a lot going on in your life. And we had a conversation, and that conversation has probably helped you to find some clarity and
Indeed.
direction. Yeah, and then you took some action, intentional action, right, towards in your personal growth and development. And I'm so proud of you. You just keep going.
Thank
and
you.
Taking those committed and intentional action. There were many challenges along the way, but you stood firm, even though times you may get tired or discouraged. Yeah, but you stand up again, you stood up, and then you keep going on. So I think for that, I want to applaud you for,
Thank you.
yeah, you look so different from the very first time I meet you online. Right, and
Thank
you
you.
came, and also, I appreciate you for come and volunteer with us at Women of Courage Asia as well for a season. And then, your mom had some condition and you need to take time off and all that. You see, you basically, your resilience and tenacity to just keep on going on. I think that is something that is inspiring, and therefore I'm very inspired and proud of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lilian. Thank you so much for sharing with the audience that how you get to know me, because Lilian is such a, I mean, I will keep saying that Lilian is a very great lady. Okay, I know she's very powerful in terms of her strength also. So I will later on share on the comments link and the YouTube replay channel on how to get connected with Lilian. Okay, so for any one of you who are interested to know more about her and her work, feel free to connect with her later after this Facebook Live. Okay, so now let's go into the topic of today. So today we are talking about purpose keep me alive. So why do we even talk about this topic is because that I realized that a lot of people are actually being how I say, they get lost in the busyness of doing the things they do daily. And sometimes they don't have the intentions to actually, like the intentional thingy that you always advocate. That means that when we do something, like we must do it intentionally. Just like, for example, that day I went to this monthly empowerment meeting. Actually, it was raining cats and dogs. And I have two choices. I can choose not to come and just stay at home and Netflix, or I can choose to brave the rain to come over to sit for the meeting. And I chose the later. I came for your meeting and I really get to meet so many wonderful ladies up there in this women empowerment group, and it really helps me to actually see my goal clearer, along the way of sharing my story. So I really think that intention is very important. And then with that, this comes to the topic of this purpose keeping me alive. So I would like to share a little bit more first before I let you share. Okay, is that the reason why I started this Facebook channel, is also because I wanted to inspire more people. Yeah, so that's right. So so Lilian, tell us more about how do you feel about this statement? Purpose keep me alive. Because
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure that you
think,
have a lot of insights about this.
yeah, I think, I mean, you mentioned, nowadays we are living in a very fast-paced modern world, with knowledge and technology just at our fingertips, just at the touch of our finger. Everything is there, and it's so fast-paced that people are just trapped in this this cycle of doing, all that busyness and microwave kind of expectations, right?
Yes.
You want it fast now. Yeah, and that has left many people, or I mean, at least the women that I encounter, or the women that I spoke to, even the men as well, are burnout, right? They're tired, they're burnout, and including myself. I'm guilty of that as well. I'm also, I have to consciously and intentionally snap myself out of it, like, to pace myself, to take a break, to take a Sabbath, yeah, and not work 24 hours a day and burn myself out. Yeah. So that's why just now you mentioned about being intentional. But you can't be intentional when you don't have a purpose.
Right.
If you do
Right.
not know your purpose, why you are doing what you're doing, and then you are just doing and doing and doing, and you get frustrated, you get discouraged when and you begin to question, why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I so busy? For what? Why are you so busy for? What is
We
all
start to have
this for?
self-doubt about.
Yeah, you begin to question, like, why are you doing what you're doing? But if you have a purpose in life, and every action that you take is moving you closer and closer to your goals, which, all the small goals that you set along the way is leading you towards your bigger vision, your bigger
Yes.
purpose in life. And you will find joy and fulfillment in doing those things, and not get burnout and tired and discouraged and even get irritated. Some people was just like, I know I spoke to, they got so frustrated with what they are doing, but they don't understand why they're doing. They just do and do and do.
Yeah.
It lost all that meaning and purpose.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that's very true that what you're saying about the purpose. So first thing first, I think we all have to identify. I mean, of course, different people, different strokes. So some people they tend to do things without a plan, without a purpose. I have heard some of my speakers sharing also, like when I ask them, do you plan or do you even have a 5-year goal and things like that? They will say they go without that. But then different people, like what I say, different stroke. And then to me is, of course, it comes back to last year in September that actually I had a relapse and I was warded in the Institute of Mental Health, which is the mental health institute in Singapore. And that moment I was like really lost due to, I shared with Lilian also that I was disturbed with my sleep. So I have a history of schizophrenia, which is a mental condition. So I take my time to take care of my mental health. And at the same time, I make sure that I do not go off balance. So when I notice that something is not very right with me, immediately I take actions to go inside to seek treatment. However, the doctor on the duty was like telling me that, ma'am, you look perfectly fine to me, so no need for any hospitalization. But I just tell him one thing: if God want to take me today, I will go with him. Then he said, okay, let's admit you now. So I was trying to say that point of time, I just feel like, what am I busy with? Like daily, even if I go and do my clinic work, even if I want to do some grab food, which I have stopped doing for a while already because of my own capacity. So what is that thing, what is that thing that really keep me going? To me, I feel it's very important for me to be able to serve others people with the little ability or how much that I can. I like to help other people because I realize that helping other people bring me joy, they bring me fulfillment. So that's why when I help others, sometimes when I first have the onset at 19 years old, actually it's because I'm being helpful to other people and I forgot about myself. I forgot to set boundaries. So I begin to, get myself too overwhelmed with so many requests. And that was the onset of my diagnosis. But then I do not complain. I learned from my lesson. So now today I'm here, and then I'm here with Lilian, and yeah, so that's my take lah. I mean, so continue from here.
Thanks for sharing your story. I never get tired of listening to your story, because every time I hear it, I'm encouraged. And that I think the key point here, I always share about the 3 A's, right? First
Tell
thing
me
first,
more.
so a lack of self-awareness actually will lead to self-sabotaging of your personal goals, whether it's personal goal or professional goals. So that's why the first thing first is, in our community, if you know by now, I always advocate, I share my 3 A's. The first one is awareness. So because awareness empowers you with a choice, right?
Yes.
So once you gain awareness about your coping mechanism, because each of us are very different, like you said, we are all very different, wired very uniquely different. We have different strengths, different gifts, right? And we have different ways of coping with stress, right? Different way to, so I call that the coping mechanism, right? And how we cope with different things is due to what we are fearful about. Yeah. So having that awareness and how our brain actually works, yeah, the psychological, the unconscious cycle, yeah, gaining that kind of knowledge and identifying, how we usually cope with stress. That I think is a good starting point so that we can catch ourselves and like, okay, stop, snap out of it, do something positive, do something different instead of spiraling down that path, and then anxiety, stress, and then, down to depression and all that. Yeah. So awareness is the first step. And then because it empowers you with a choice, right? Now, the next step is you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision of what you want, right? Do you choose to continue in this situation, or you choose to do something different, right? Take a different action. It's not going to be easy. Yeah. But if you keep to it, like I said, know why you want to do, why you want to get out of it, because you're sick and tired of being in that place, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to get out of it. And that could it can be as simple as that. You're sick and tired of being trapped in fear and depression. You want to get out of it. That can be a very simple reason to get to take a different action. Yeah. And then you make the decision, you stick to the decision, and the next step is to work on your attitude. The next A, which is the attitude, which refers to your mindset, your belief, your thinking, feeling, and decision making, right? Yeah. So like what you did, we had that conversation, you make that choice, you make that decision, after the awareness, we share a little bit of how, the psychology of how we process information and all that. And then you make a decision to, okay, I'm going to do something different now. And you keep doing something different, and we catch those thoughts. Remember, we didn't have all the time to catch all the thoughts, but one at a time, and we give permission to people in our life that we trust, to catch those blind spots. I call them blind spots because we can't see them, right? Yeah, but it can be identified from the words that we use. The most common one will be like, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not good enough, I'm not, yeah. So all these are common words that is driven by the negative or limiting beliefs, right? And last but not least, the last A is action. And I'm talking about not just any random action, but intentional and committed action to create the change that you want to see for your life, for that situation. Yeah. So awareness, attitude, and then action. Yeah, that's the 3A for you.
Yeah, nice.
Helpful.
Yeah, I think this is really very helpful. I still vividly remember the first discovery call with you. I mean this coffee chat with Lilian. That time was actually I just flipped through the Facebook and I saw Women of Courage Asia popping up on the algorithm. Then I was like, okay, maybe this is something that is for me. Maybe the universe want to send me someone to help me at the point of time when I was really low. Yeah, so I connected with her, and then we got a session. And the one thing that really caught my attention about Lilian was that she's very good with the brain. I mean, of course, she's very learned, very educated. Like, she taught to me this thing called amygdala. So that caught my attention because amygdala. So there's an Amy inside there. Then I was like, oh, amygdala. Okay, so that is inside our brain, which is like is the one that is like helping us. Maybe you can share with my audience more about what is amygdala.
Oh no, I don't remember that, honestly. I did share with you about the 3 different intelligence of the brain, because we have the frontal cortex, right? And then we have the emotional brain, and then we have the reptilian brain as well. So they all have very different function, and they develop at different pace. Yeah. So because the frontal lobe will develops slower than the emotional brain, right? So that's why I was saying that teenagers, that's why, when we were teenagers, we realized that we are very emotionally led and very impulsive. We make decisions based on our emotion.
Yes.
But imagine when the development stage is, like the emotional brain is like a Ferrari, for example, going at the speed of the Ferrari. And the frontal lobe development is just like the brake of a bicycle brake. How is it going to brake and, stop the Ferrari, right? That's why, we often crash, with our decision that is very emotionally led. Yeah. So yeah, I remember sharing the three intelligence and the unconscious cycle with you. Yeah, I'm not just to a disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist. I just read a lot about the brain and the mindset and the psychology of this because after going through my own personal experience, I realized that I spoke to a psychologist, and she explained to me what I have self-administered, without knowing the terms, the terminology used in the psychology world. Yeah, it's just that I applied what I learned in church and all that. So and therefore, but the world has a name for it. So I begin to research and study and read up all the books that I can grab hold of about this subject matter. Yeah, and of course, invested in myself to go for all this training about coaching and all that. Yeah, so just a disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist. If you need any clinical support and all that, I'll refer you to a psychologist.
Right. We do what we are best at, right? We do what we are best at. Yeah.
My strength is on the coaching, to get you from where you are to where you want to be, navigating through your challenges. Yeah.
Thank you, Lilian, for this powerful. And I want to, at the same time, bring your attention to our audience at the Facebook Live. So we have Ricky, my long-term supporter. Okay, so he has been supporting me with my Coffee with Amy Kang Facebook Live chat all the time when I was doing it. So we're always there. And we have Paula. I'd like to do a special thank you to Paula. Paula is actually a lady from this of the country. Sorry, she is a metaphysics practitioner. So she is a very powerful lady. And I just shared our Coffee with Amy Kang this chat right on this group with hers being in that, and she come in. I think this is the first time Paula comes in, right? And she's really a very strong woman also. Yeah. So I want to acknowledge and thank you to Ricky and Paula for coming in. And I'm sure that there are many out there who are like also taking a glimpse and things like that. Just feel free to say hello to us, okay? And then let me know that you're here to give your support. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, Rick. Right. Rick, Paula,
yeah.
and Andrew. Hello.
Hi, Andrew. And
thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I didn't see Andrew because sometimes like my Facebook page, the comments, I might not be able to capture all the message. But yeah, I really think that like sometimes I believe in the law of attractions. We attract the right kind of people into our life because there's always a reason. Things happens for a reason. Yeah. So let's carry on with our talk. Okay. So the purpose keeping me alive. So Lilian, let's come back to you. Like what is the purpose? Because I already shared my purpose is I want to serve other people. How about you? Tell us more about your purpose in life and what really keep your in your eyes growing.
Yeah, like I mentioned, it all started, it can start with a very, very simple reason, a simple why. And my why back then was very simple because I was a mother. I am a mother. And I was a younger, a new mother. So, and then going through all this depression, postnatal depression and suicidal thoughts, right? It was very, very scary, to have thoughts of throwing my baby down the window, down the building, and then throw myself down. I mean, those are very real, scary thoughts, right?
Yeah.
For those who do not struggle with this, you may not be able to understand, but those of you who can understand because you've been there, you were there, you know that it is very scary thoughts. And I'm thankful that I did not act them out. I cannot imagine throwing my baby down the building. I mean, the thought of it sends shivers down my spine, even right now when I talk about it. Yeah, but I'm thankful that I didn't do that. Now, when I'm at that stage, I told myself, and I'm thankful for windows of sanity. I call them very short windows of sanity where I can have a clear mind to like question myself. Hey, what's happening to me? What's going on with me? Why am I having such scary thoughts? And
Right.
what am I going to do about it? If I'm not going to do anything about it, I never know that I will actually act them out, right? Subsequently, if I'm not going to stop this. Yeah. So I'm thankful for that window of sanity to have to question myself. And then I told myself, I must get out of this
Right.
because I
Right.
got two babies to take care of, two very young children to take care of. They need me. And if I don't stand up, if not me, then who? I cannot trust them with anybody else, and that's at
Understand.
my stage. Yeah. So
Okay.
and I ask myself, how can I be courageous? How can I even teach my children to be courageous? Yeah, I think the word that popped out to me back then, is to be strong and be courageous, right? So and the only way to teach them and to show myself, to lead myself is to walk the talk. Yeah. So
I'm very, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very curious, like, what before you even give birth, right, to your children, right? So what was your life like? Like, what can you describe with me? I mean, this is a story that not many people are aware of, maybe, because I never hear about that part of the story. But I'm very curious, like, at this setting, this chat back here, if you don't mind sharing, that
Sure,
like,
sure.
what is the life like for you before you are even a married lady? How
Right.
do you actually handle your life stresses and challenges,
Mhm.
and yes, how is it?
That's a very good question. Yeah. When I'm younger, I'm actually very self-driven, very self-motivated and very self-driven. I studied real estate management in school, in poly, and then I went on to get my degree in real estate management. And I worked in the real estate industry for a few years. I've worked with Inland Revenue before doing valuation. I worked with property developers before doing property management and marketing. Yeah. So and then I was headhunted by my ex-boss who wanted to start a sales team. And so she challenged me. She was very encouraging, and I was, young, I have all the energy, and so I took the courage to actually, work with her to build up a sales team and help her to actually market properties that are very challenging to, all the leftovers, the
Okay,
developers,
okay.
cannot sell. They were like, okay, pass to
Balance
this
plan.
company, this team, they will be able to sell it. And we did. Yeah, I've
Wow.
managed to help her to, all in all, be probably a total of 350 million worth of properties sold,
Impressive.
within a very short period of time. So that was very, very intensive, and I was at the peak of my career, financially independence, and doing very well for a 20 plus, a mid 20, early 20s actually, yeah, girl, in the market, in the real estate industry. I was, yeah, not living in any lack or anything. But motherhood kicks in in my
I see.
mid 20s. I married young. Yeah. So I remember I had my firstborn. I was conceived at 26. So I had my firstborn at 27. Yeah. And that's when I make a decision to put my career on hold and to become a stay-at-home mom full-time, taking care of my baby, because my son has very bad eczema condition. It's from scalp to toe. When he flare up, it's like full blown. It's so scary, and he doesn't know how to articulate his pain, right? So all he did was cry and cry and cry and cry. And so he cry, I cry. So
I know. I
yeah,
can feel.
and yeah, so I decided to, okay, because every time I leave for work, I have the separation anxiety, not
Okay,
him.
okay. Not
Yeah,
him, not
so
the baby, but you, the
yeah, I
mother,
mean, he was
having the
still,
separation
like
anxiety.
less than a year old. He was just, a baby. So and then looking at his condition, and all that. So I had separation anxiety, and I know that I need to make a choice. It's either my career or my baby. I made a choice. Although it was my choice, right, to become a stay-at-home mom, give up my career and all that, but I didn't realize that my identity was tied to my achievements and my career. So when I stripped that off, when I become a full-time mom, all day in, day out was diapers, milk powder, milk vomit, suddenly I lost myself. I have a loss of identity. I was like,
It's in
what
the
am I
form, like,
doing? Who am I?
yeah, like in the form of
Yeah.
identity crisis.
Yes, I went into an identity crisis. I was like, yeah, I instead of going to the spa or salon, like massage or what, I now go to Kiddie Palace. And I go to all the things that is anything and
What
everything that's related to the kids.
but do
Yeah,
you know what I
mother
see here?
care.
Yeah, what I see
Huh?
here? I really see the mother love, the power of the mother. What I see from here, that you transit from the career woman to a mother. I can see the sacrifice you make is that kind of the very strong love, the strongest love in the world, which is mother love that I see from you here.
I think motherhood really is a very good training ground for very self-driven women like myself, because it's really not about me anymore, right? It's about the child, it's about the kids that are entrusted to us, and everything is about them. So yeah, then my next season of motherhood, for the next 7 years, full-time, I went full-time for 7 years before I start a furnishing business
Salute.
thereafter. Yeah, so it was a self-discovery training program.
Yeah, indeed. I agree with you.
Yes,
Self-discovery.
yeah.
Training
I
program.
discovered, all the good, bad, and ugly thing about myself during the motherhood.
Yeah, in my terms, it's called spirituality lah. Wow, this is really nice to hear about your story. So it's actually the point I'm hearing from is that actually is the transition of from the so achievable, like a very capable lady to someone who is like going down to the mundane job of making the milk lah, changing the diaper. That kind of like made you wonder, huh? Is there something wrong here? And then that's where you actually slip into the depression mode. Can I say that?
Yeah, but very quickly, I mean, about like maybe 3 years into the first initial motherhood journey, I found myself again. Yeah, I found my purpose, right? I found my purpose and the full meaning of being a mother, and and thereafter, of course, making that decision to get out of that trap lah. Yeah, the imprisonment of all that nonsense and negative narratives in my head. So
How do
taking
you do that?
intentional action.
How do you tell me more? Like how do you find your purpose? Like that part is very interesting.
Okay, this will really have to attribute to one moment in the time zone, the timeline, where I think I shared this in my story before, where I was standing at the balcony. I was looking out of the balcony, and I was like pretty stoned, not stoned on substance abuse, but just go blank and feeling very numb. Yeah, because I was very tired. So I was actually planning how to end my life again, because I struggled with suicidal thoughts all the time, And so I went into the room to wanting to take a last look at my children before I before I end my life. But when I was looking at them, children, when they sleep, they breathe, and then their tummy is like very as a very big movement.
Yes.
It was like very therapeutic. And then as I was watching them breathe and all that, it calmed me down. And it was so therapeutic that I forgot about my suicidal plan. But I was feeling very tired. So I went to the playroom next door because they were sleeping. So I went to the playroom next door to just rest. And then I just slumped down to the floor. And I find myself started to weep. And then I found myself started to cry. And the crying became wailing. I started to wail.
Mm.
It was like a sudden a tsunami of emotions that
Try
just
to flush
rise
out.
up. Yeah, because I've been suppressing them for the
Yes.
longest time. Yeah, putting up a strong front, yeah, holding it, but I was physically, mentally, emotionally very, very tired. I couldn't hold it anymore. And I started wailing and wailing, I think probably for half an hour until I was so tired on the floor. And then I told myself, I remember I told God, I said, okay, I surrender. I don't know how to help myself anymore. You help me lah, Yeah. So then the next day, my neighbor came and approached me because I was like a zombie by then, very predictable.
Understand.
What time goes, send kids to preschool, go playground, go supermarket. It's like very predictable. So she approached me and asked me to join her, bring my kids, bring your kids, come to, because she's staying on the 4th floor, I'm staying on the 8th floor. Just bring your kids and, we can have activities together because she's
Very
a
lovely
teacher.
neighbor.
Yeah. So, but I struggle with that. Because when you're in depression, you want to isolate yourself.
Isolate from others.
Yes, we want to withdraw and isolate. We don't want to interact with anyone.
Yes.
Like, don't disturb me, don't kind of disturb me,
Yes.
But I knew that I needed support. I knew that I already cry out for support, right? And this looks like support, this looks like help. So I have to make a decision. And I literally drag myself to go to her place, bring my kids there, Initially it was tough, but slowly and surely and gradually, I begin to enjoy it, because I was having this social interaction with people. The kids are happy. When the kids are happy, I'm happy.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Then we begin to organize activities, the enthusiastic and adventurous me started to surface again. We started organizing coral reef walks, botanic garden outings, garage sales, this and that, and all kinds of activities. So that's how the Connecting Mothers Support Group started.
Oh, wow. Now we get to hear about this Connecting Mother. So really, wow. I'm so happy
that was before Women of Courage Asia. Yeah.
So
it was
that
very
started
organic.
First? Oh, organic. I see.
Yeah, because they were all mothers with young children. So we organize activities, science project, and all that. It's all revolving around the children. Yeah.
Do today's world, do you still do activity on the Connecting Mother?
The Connecting Mothers Support Group has evolved into a Facebook Connect group. Yeah. So exchanging of information, parenting tips, motherhood tips. Yeah. So we have a support group on Facebook. Yeah. And we used to have also, a lot of forums and outings as well. Yeah. So I really hope to see more mothers coming forward.
Yes.
To champion, the activities also. But because we have Women of Courage Asia now, which are organizing all these activities, so we also invite all the mothers from the moms group to come and join us. Recently, last year, before the year end, we had the breast cancer exploration race. Yeah, which involved the whole family. The whole family can come and get educated
I remember
about
that
the
race.
breast cancer awareness.
The race. Yeah. I think
kids were involved.
Yeah, because why I'm very interested in this is because I got a group of friends who are like the single parents. So we have this group, super mummies, what's a group, and that there are mummies who are like, also needing a lot of support. I can see that, in the group sometimes like they are communicating, but I don't really interact a lot. I can feel that a lot of the mothers there are, like really like looking out for more support, more help. Then I think that, connecting them together is actually better. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so for the single parents, if you want, you can actually connect with us. Okay. So yeah. Any parting words, Lilian?
Parting words, right? I think just want to encourage all the ladies out there, if you're stressed, you feel stressed, or you are constantly worrying and feel anxious about life, about different things in relationship, parenting, or whatsoever, the journey of womanhood, basically, do reach out for support, because reaching out for support is not weakness. It is actually courage. It requires courage to reach out for support. I know it. It requires a lot from me to reach out for support, but which is the reason why we are creating this ecosystem of community support. Yeah, so that you have a safe place to come and be vulnerable, to practice being courageous, to be inspired, to be empowered with practical tips and tools, and hear from different women in different seasons of their life with all the wealth of experience. Yeah, so do come and join our pro bono. It's pro bono. Our monthly empowerment meeting is pro bono at last Tuesday of the month. And we are celebrating our 4th anniversary.
Yes, that's right.
This 18th of March at Lifelong Learning Institute. So yeah, Amy will share the link, right? You go to courage.asia/4th anniversary, where you can register and be inspired. We have 4 powerful women from different walks of life. We have a minister, Madam Rahayu. We have a entrepreneur who has put Singapore on the global map. We have Dr. Naomi Dowdy, who is in her 80s, but still actively traveling around the world, mentoring business leaders. And we also have our community leader, Teresa Chong, who was also, got to know us from the Facebook group, and then she journeyed with us and overcome her fears and challenges and serve as a community leader. And in her own sphere of influence, she's a director of a steel and oil company, leading the Singapore team as well. So come and be inspired. And of course, many other ladies in our community with inspiring stories. So come and befriend, make connections, make new friends. Yeah, don't journey alone. Journey together in a loving and supportive community. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I have put the link for this Women of Courage Asia 4th anniversary onto the Facebook chat. So if you are interested, but it's only in Singapore, so Paula, please don't come because you have to fly over from your country.
I can fly over.
Yeah, then also I have put on a Linktree link for Lilian's contact, so you all can actually connect with Lilian if you want to know anything about her work, right? Because she's a really wonderful woman here. Okay, so then with that, actually I like to close the chat. Yeah, thank you everyone for your time, and for those who missed the first part of the talk, don't worry, I will post this onto my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@amykang, where you can watch the replays. Okay, and there's many other work over there. And tonight, actually, I have another guest speaker coming on at 8 p.m. Wee Chin Leong, who is going to share about meditations. Okay, with that, thank you so much, and have a nice day, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lilian. Bye bye.